Hello travelers, today I'm going to show you an easy way to create your own homebrew sister order color scheme for OPR and 40K. This is going to be for Blessed Sisters and Adepta Sororitas. The first thing you want to do is choose an armor color and do a zenithal prime over black. As you can see, I chose white. Next, try to stick to two main accessory colors, one for the robe type areas and then one for the leather areas. To go with my backstory, I'm doing pink and purple. I've found that this Magos purple is an amazing pink contrast paint. That's the most important part for this, is speed paints and contrast paints. They make it super easy and fast to get a tabletop quality paint job. Make sure to watch all your edging since we are doing contrast paints, so that you don't run over into your armor. If you have the time and ability to paint before you assemble, that obviously makes things easier, but I'm not trying to make everything perfect, I just want it to be quick and easy. If you feel like any of the areas are too heavy with the contrast paint, you can use a different brush while it's still wet to wick up some of it. Robe's done. This Leviathan purple is definitely a bit more chalky, so I absolutely make sure to water it down on my wet palette. Now for wet palettes, you really don't have to get anything too fancy. This is literally just a Tupperware top that I use some paper towels and parchment paper in. It's always a good idea to look at your model before you paint so you can figure out where everything is going to be, like this little leather pack that I wanted to paint purple. Second color done. Try to stick to one color for your weapons. Obviously metallics are going to make it a bit more believable, especially when we shade it down later. Make sure you get any accessories for your weapons in the same color. These magazines on her back need to be painted silver as well. I decided to do silver for these tubes because we're going to be doing a lot of gold in the next trim step. I wanted to have a little bit of difference. Ready for the next color. Psych, I missed her hand. I gotta go back and do some purple. Now we're ready for the egregious amount of trim. I really like Retributor armor as a deep gold. I've tried some of the other competitors and I've consistently come back to Retributor. But obviously to make it your own, you can choose whatever metallics you want to give it its own special custom flair. We still have less trim than Chaos Space Marines. Don't forget any little accents on other pieces that you've painted, like on your weapons. I saved my mask for last because it's the most nerve-wracking part. Ready for some extra details. I wanted to get this cool night visor effect with this green, and I really liked how it turned out. I just dabbed on pretty heavily inside of the white, and then wicked it out with a different brush after it had dried a little bit. Afterwards, we go back in with our gold to finish up the edges again. We don't want it to bleed over. For weathered parchment, this Cassandra yellow has been my staple. You definitely don't want to go too heavy on it because then it just turns into an orange, but a little bit goes a long way. And then after you got a base layer, you can go back in and get a little bit heavier in certain spots. I went with a red purity seal, but feel free to choose whatever color you want. Time to take a bath. For me, choosing white armor, I have to be very careful not to get any of this onto it. I'm not bothering shading down the white at all. I just want it to be a nice pristine white. If you're choosing something like red or a dark brown or any other deep color armor, you can wash it down and not have to worry about it too much. As you can see, I also have to be careful with her robes and her leather. I'm trying to let the contrast paints stand alone while the washes go over all the gold and metals. Agrax Earthshade is also great at adding more of the weathering to the parchment. This model has a little tactical pile behind it for a foot. You just do whatever you want with your base, whether it's a brick or a pile of dirt or a skull. Sisters are known for their parchment and their purity seals, so we got to add a little bit of writing. Just find your finest brush or any brush you don't really care much about that's relatively small. As long as you get off quite a bit of it and you're able to have a steady hand, just do a whole bunch of squiggles. Nice and easy. Adding some wash onto her tactical pile. It's basing time. I really like this sterling mud. It gives you an easy base to just dry brush over top and call it a day. You can always do the base separately if you have time and care. I'm just trying to be as nice and easy as possible. I like to assemble all in one step, prime all in one step, and then paint all in one step. Then it's dry brush time. I started out with a brush that I thought was going to work, but as you can see, I switched pretty quick. This one was able to hold more and take the color a lot further. Two layers really helps give variation of the different types of gravel and dirt and all that jazz. Next is just rimming the base. I like to use this nice chip brush and go around in a watered down Abaddon black. I do about 3 layers. Typically as you go around, the first part will be dry when you get back around to it. There we go. Now we're ready for any basing accents. These tufts go perfectly with the backstory that I created for my sister order, so we're going to be pulling them off nice and carefully. And then we do a little dab of super glue. And stick. And with that, you get a nice, easy custom paint job for your own sister order, with whatever colors you determined.